Well, good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Marmy Hannon. A man was found in a ditch south of Sioux Center yesterday morning and later died at the hospital. It's our top story at 10. Sioux County Sheriff says yesterday at around 9:47 in the morning, a Sioux County deputy and other people assisting in a search found a man in the east ditch of Harrison Avenue, 4 miles south of Sioux Center, Iowa. Earlier that morning at around 2:45 a.m., a person matching the description of the man was reported kicking a residence's door in an apparent attempt to gain entry to the residence. Police say the man did not live at the residence, and the caller reported the man was not wearing pants or underwear. Officers say the man found in the ditch matched the description of the man disturbing the residence and was transported to Sioux Center Health, where he was pronounced dead. Officers say foul play is not suspected and the name of the man is not being released at this time. The Sheriff's Office was assisted by the Sioux Center Police Department and Sioux Center Ambulance. The case remains under investigation. And members of the National Association of Letter Carriers and the American Postal Workers Union held a rally in Des Moines, Iowa, as they continue to negotiate a new contract with the federal government. Contract negotiations need to finish up by February 18th, or they go into arbitration, which could take months. Workers rallied today to inform the public about what they're looking for in their new contracts, which is better pay, overtime, provisions, and better working conditions.
I'm just out here just because, need some more money. We're struggling. Working the hard winters is, really tiresome and just, deserve more pay. It's what we work for, man, serving the customers.
A national rally took place last Thursday. And 2 people have thrown their hats into the ring to be the next district court judge in Nebraska's 7th Judicial District. Matthew Headley and Michael Long, both from Norfolk, submitted applications for appointment. A public hearing is set for March 14th at 10 a.m. at the Madison County Courthouse in courtroom number 1. The State Judicial Nominating Commission will interview the applicants, along with hearing oral public testimony and reading written public testimony. The vacancy is due to Judge Mark Johnson's retirement. The 7th Judicial District has 7 northeast Nebraska counties, such as Knox. And with the cold, folks don't have to worry too much about thin ice. But when it gets warmer, it will become an issue. Firefighters have to train for those kind of events. Reporter Tyler Lauder is in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as he learns more on the rescue training.
Ice incidents are a low frequency, but bring with them potential life-threatening results. This is why officials say keeping up on this training is so important.
It's very important to make sure everybody's on the same page. That's why we do it once a year. We do a refresher. We get out there, we get the suits on, we put everybody through them. Everybody gets in the suits. Everybody takes turns being the one that's running the incident, going out and actually performing the rescue.
These trainings cover each stage of a rescue and also include tools to help while in the water.
We practice with our rescuers self-rescue first, so they're up to date on that, and then we go from self-rescue to rescuing a victim out of the hole, and then we get out different equipment and different devices that are an option for rescuing somebody.
Once someone falls through, the difference between life and death is minutes, so rescue needs to be done as soon as possible.
Anytime somebody is in the water, they're losing body heat substantially faster than if they're just standing in the air. Once you're wet, you lose body heat at a tremendously increased amount. So getting them out and getting them into someplace warm and getting them to an ambulance and to the hospital is hugely important.
And as fast as time as possible, efficiently as possible. It's something that, again, we've been training for. Getting out there, calming that person down, getting them up on top of the ice and getting them out. But the elements definitely add to this whole procedure.
Ice thickness can change each day depending on how cold it gets during the winter months in South Dakota.
Our winters here, the temperatures are up and down constantly throughout the ice season, and so we just want to remind people that no ice is safe ice, and just be aware of what the ice condition is on the body of water that you're planning to get on.
Rescuing someone or diving under is only possible with the assistance of those on land, guiding and communicating with those in the water.
Getting out here, getting this hands-on training, that's really where it makes or breaks us to get these reps in so that when it's time to go live and someone does fall through this ice, we know where we're supposed to be, we know how to act, and we can do that properly and efficiently. So.
The Black Hills offering so many bodies of water, several agencies throughout the area are prepared to assist in rescue.
We have many volunteer agencies around the city that are capable of doing ice rescue. We've done a lot of trainings with those volunteers throughout the area. If there's a lake or a body of water in their jurisdiction, they're getting the training. They have the equipment and the know-how to do it.
And many Siouxlanders decided to spend their cold Sunday inside where it's nice and warm. However, employees at Cone Park weren't so lucky. While not as busy as usual, Cone Park had folks braving the weather today to hit the slopes for a bit of fun. On a busier and warmer day, Cone Park has 3 workers at the top of the sledding hill at all times, switching out every 40 to 50 minutes for employees to warm up. During colder days like today, officials put fewer folks outside and for shorter periods of time.
Try and keep couple extra people here so that we have time to rotate. We usually try and do like 15-minute rotations so that you're out there for maybe 15 to 30 minutes, but then you can hopefully get about a 15 to 30-minute break to warm up.
A reminder that several Siouxland counties are in a cold weather advisory, so bundle up if you need to head outside. And staying on the topic of weather, a snow emergency has been declared for Storm Lake, Iowa. It began yesterday at 10 o'clock p.m. and will continue through Monday at 6 a.m. During a snow emergency, parking is not allowed on streets in residential areas between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Parking is also not allowed on streets in the central business district between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. And finally, parking is not allowed in downtown public parking lots designated as Lot B and Lot D. And the eastern U.S. being pummeled by dangerous flooding, powerful winds, and wintry conditions. In Kentucky, the flooding turning deadly. At least 8 people have been killed, including a child. Here's ABC's Allison Kosick with the latest.
Parts of Kentucky have been hit with more than 6 inches of rain, nearly the entire state under flood warnings.
This is one of the most serious weather events we've dealt with in at least a decade.
The governor says there have been over 1,000 rescues.
Unfortunately, this disaster is taking a toll in terms of human life. We can confirm that we've lost at least 8 Kentuckians.
Among those killed, a mother and 7-year-old child. In Pikeville, this road damaged by the floodwaters. Cars and debris washed off the road. Throughout the state, cars left submerged. Heavy rains in Georgia as well. The storm bringing down trees and flooding neighborhoods. In northwest Atlanta, 1 man was killed when a tree fell on this home. And in Lithia Springs, the rain looking more like a raging river. In Florence, Mississippi, Jimmy Armour's grandparents' home was damaged after high winds crashed a large pine tree through the roof.
We were all sitting here in the living room. The rain started, and then it almost sounded like a freight train coming through.
Nearly 450,000 customers across 7 states, from Alabama to Virginia, losing power. In the Northeast, Pennsylvania hit with up to 5 inches of snow in some areas, causing treacherous road conditions. In parts of Massachusetts, as much as 6 inches of snow fell. Slippery road conditions there as well. This tractor trailer jackknifed on I-95 in Burlington. And outside of Boston, in Lawrence, residents now digging out. As this weather system moves out, wind gusts could approach 60 miles per hour across a wide portion of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast through Monday morning. Allison Kosick, ABC News, New York.
Well, once again, staying on the topic of weather, joining me now is meteorologist Maggie Warren. So, Maggie, we're not seeing extreme snow, for example, like that, but we are seeing extreme cold. It's supposed to be very cold here.
Yeah, we're seeing one of the winter extremes, and it's already very cold out there tonight. Thankfully, though, not seeing any more snowfall at the moment, but we will see at least a chance for some into our day tomorrow for parts of Siouxland, but for right now, pretty quiet night out there, although rather cold. We did see sunshine out there today too. That really helped clear off those roadways. You can see that on the Ho-Chunk Center camera there. Those roads in good shape, and our road conditions map also indicating that normal road conditions. There's I-29 there through Sioux City, much of those roads in northwest Iowa also in good shape. We do see some issues out to our west, though. They're partially covered through areas like Wayne, Bloomfield, Norfolk, Tacoma, up into southeast South Dakota there in Canton and Yankton, and then just one little patchy spot down there in Denison still with those partially covered roads. So gonna want to be careful out there, especially as we see temperatures sub-zero right now, 4 below in Sioux City, 6 below there in Denison and Storm Lake, even 7 below out in Wayne. So very cold air going to result in refreezing of all of that has melted if it didn't get really kind of dried off, evaporated off through the afternoon. Those winds rather calm for most, although some sustained winds up to 15 miles an hour through Orange City and Spencer. Although that last update showing 14 miles an hour, and those out of the north and northwest. And we'll see those stronger winds confined up to those areas through the night tonight with those winds, those wind chills into the teens and even close to the 20s below here in Sioux City. 18 below there in Esterville, 17 in Spencer, 21 in Ida Grove, and 22 below there in Storm Lake. So very cold air in place as we do continue to see some clear conditions, but cloud cover quickly starting to fill back in. Seeing that creep in and some snow chances starting to creep back in as well as we take a look at Stormcast. We see this entire system starting to slide into the area, really just brushing the Sioux City metro. Most of that staying out through northeast Nebraska. That's where we anticipate seeing some heavier pockets of snow to the tune of maybe 1 to 3 inches, maybe a couple spots to 4 inches of snow, tapering off into our afternoon before another round starts to fill back in, but finally clearing that out of here as we head into Monday night and Tuesday. Tuesday morning, though, another batch of snow starting to slide into the northeast Nebraska area, clipping Sioux City metro and then dropping to the south. So the system's really going to take a southward track and not expecting a whole lot of snow here locally. A few tenths of an inch through Sioux City, down through Mapleton and Denison. 2 to 3 inches of snow out through northeast Nebraska, but that snow gradient going to be very tight. The bigger story going to be wind chills, those between 15 and 30 below zero as we head into our Monday morning, especially up there to the north there towards Esterville, looking at 31 to 32 below zero. We see those continuing to be bitter cold even into our Monday afternoon and evening. So we do continue to see some cold weather alerts. These for tonight up through northern portions of northwest Iowa. Temperatures falling to the single digits, sub-zero, 5 above for tomorrow in Sioux City. And then tomorrow night looking at extreme cold watches through all of Siouxland, likely to see those extended or expanded into extreme cold warnings. We do see temperatures staying in the single digits, not getting above about 5 degrees for us through a good chunk of the week before we finally see teens return for Friday. 30s for Saturday, 40s and 50s though by the time we hit the end of that extended forecast. Plenty of sunshine building back into, unfortunately, most of that sunshine going to be very deceiving as we continue to see bitter cold temperatures.
Absolutely, Maggie. It looks like we just have to hold on to at least 3-4 more days of those colder temperatures, and then we'll finally see hopefully some warm up that won't last. We'll find out.
Bundle up and stay warm out there. Protect yourself and those pets.
Absolutely. Well, stay warm and stick with us. Still to come at 10, why the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio endorsed Israel's war, saying Hamas must be eradicated and throwing the future of the shaky ceasefire into further doubt. More on that, that's coming up next.